I don't know if I'm supposed to be still training or not. I
Mm.
was about to give this shit up. I swear.
Mm. What? Hold on. What brought that on?
It just felt like I didn't have the passion for it anymore.
Mm.
And I was asking, I'm praying. I'm like, is this something I'm supposed to be stopped doing? Like, what is it? Should I just be studying a little bit more to get back into it, or what is it? Like, and then I read this and I was like, that's crazy. I just asked. Somebody said, so what is it like? What is your why? Like, what are you doing it? I of course said my.
And I think passion is fluid anyway, right? Because what's happening, most of us turn our passion into profit. And I think people don't talk enough about the potential, all the things that have to die off from it just being a passion. Like you enjoyed working out prior to you turn it into a job.
Right.
You know, I enjoyed training. I enjoyed a lot of these things, but the moment that it turns into this profitable thing, you have to look at it like a business. I think that's a natural process, especially at a certain number of years or certain time frame where it's like, oh shoot, this ain't fun no more. Right. And I think that's more so what it is because you're looking for that feeling that you had before. And yeah,
Freedom.
yeah, right. And just liking it, not having any
this is
So
little
always said
this
it.
little was just like just the way. And I used to wake up, I used to be excited, like, oh my, I get to go train. I wake up like, God dang.
I hate to get this
I'm
example,
tired,
but
God.
I got to like it's kind of like you just talking to a girl, right? You just talking to her, everything's good, it's fun. But then when you take it serious, things could shift, right? Because it's like, oh, when really nothing changed. It's just a
More
title.
expectation.
It's a title expectation to it. So I think the same thing can happen with your passion. Is like when you merge, we talk about all the passion and purpose, passion and purpose. When them things merge, we also don't talk about the things you sacrifice with it. So I think that's a natural. I think though also it just means that it's time for you to potentially do something a little bit different with it,
That's what I said.
or create something new from it, or spin off, or a one off potentially, because it can seem like you need to quit.
Listen,
Oh yeah, I done been there. I think too. I remember always saying like chase time, not money.
Mm-hmm.
for
'Cause
sure.
that's probably where you are now. Is like all of my time is sucked up into this thing and it's not producing what I want it to do. So now the love for it is kind of diminishing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah,
I get where
but
you going. Yeah,
but
yeah, I get where you're going.
but I've always felt like the chasing the time is where you want it because I would rather, like he said, you'll get to you ask for partnerships, all of that stuff, and that stuff starts coming, and then it don't stop. But then that's not the fun part.
Right.
The fun part is really just sketching, you know, sketching shirts and like being creative and stuff like the stuff that really don't pay nothing.
Right, correct.
Mhm.
So you just got to really figure out one. I think two is getting a team around that you can start to delegate and get certain things off of you because there's certain people that like doing the things that you don't like to do.
Right, right.
And when you can keep those people around, then those naturally you get to like, I'm not gonna say elevate, but you get to elevate
get
and like
into
be in different rooms
right,
of like,
right.
I just want to use my mind
Right,
now.
right, right, right.
Right. Like I just want to use my mind. You might not want to just, you know what I'm saying, coach all the time. Or
Correct.
maybe you want to coach in different spaces or
Correct.
whatever. But I think like naturally just finding that team around it, um, or somebody to, find somebody that can, hey, I need you to find my workouts for this week.
Right, right.
Right. Shoot me 10 workouts
That's
this
real.
week.
That's real.
Like all of that stuff is taking your time
Mm-hmm.
and it's taking your creativity to where you walk in drained because you didn't
Heck
you
yeah.
didn't spent 10 hours like literally researching on the phone, doing invoices.
You see me pulling out the other day.
Yeah.
I'm just got done cleaning the
Yeah.
gym. I'm cleaning the gym, scraping,
yeah,
making sure
yeah,
everything's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
because you're getting to the point where you're transitioning from it being this new thing to
Mhm.
something that you're having to maintain.
Mhm.
So I would say a cool activity that my mentor years ago had me do is write down all the things you don't like doing within your business.
Mhm.
Just write it down. And then if you want to have a prayer list, that's what the things you pray for, right? Those are the systems of the people that you pray for, because you can do it all yourself. But if you holding on to everybody running, yeah, you can run for a little while, but after so long, you can get tired, right?
Facts.
As opposed to divvying out those things. Now, that's a whole nother task in itself,
Mhm.
learning how to delegate, but it can rejuvenate you to learn something else. It can
Mhm.
make it last that much longer.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Because that's where I was right before, Jack was born. Is I was doing this thing by myself, right? I had never thought about employees. And here come Jack, and I'm like, naturally, I can't be here all the time.
Right.
So that's when that kind of came on. So, but I didn't have time to like think about it. So if you have time to like potentially put some things in place and it's not a necessity to get people in place, I think you have a leg up than I did, because I just had to find anybody to come.
Mhm.
Hey, you want to work? I got to get paid this,
Mhm.
because I had to take that paternity leave, and I had to
Then
do
you
that.
have the aspect of like myself where you get people that want to be a part of it, but you don't know how to lead the best way.
Right.
I'm saying you end up like, and I'm not saying it's people come and go, but like if you don't hone in on who you really are,
Mhm.
and a lot of times like I've psyched myself out of those leadership positions because I feel like, oh, I'm not supposed to.
Mhm.
Then you lose people. You
Mhm.
lose people naturally
Mhm.
because you're not sharpening up your skills or honing into the leadership role that you have, or taking your business as serious as it is.
Right. Right.
And that way, I mean, and by that I mean like a lot of times you don't. It's like the imposter syndrome. You're like, nah,
Mhm.
I'm still here, and it's like, no, from the outside, people looking at you like, bro, you got a whole like
Yes. Yes.
corporation, like you know what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
you really got to hone in on those skills, because at some point, I just told a student this at Tech. At some point, regardless of how like weighed down your shoulders are, like you ask for this.
Right.
Mhm.
Like at some point, you ask for this,
Right.
and naturally, you know what I'm saying, your shoulders can bear this weight. You're strong enough to bear it.
Mhm.
And this is just one of those ebbs and flows that you're going through, that it is testing. Like, do you really want this
Right.
when
Right. Right.
nothing is going your way,
Right.
when pockets are dry, when the
Right.
world is absolutely against you?
Right. Right.
Are you going to stand resolute and continue to push through? Because you've seen the other side of it when everything was all
Yes.
glitz and
Yes. That's
glory.
true. That's true.
So it's like, all right, it's another hill I gotta
And it's
climb.
crazy. Like it don't even be like it don't even be the financial piece. It more so just be like the mental piece.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I just started therapy. Like
Heck yeah.
I've been once
Let's
last
go.
week.
Let's go. Let's
That is like
go.
that's like a big step for me in general, because I feel like we all need that in general.
Facts.
But
Boy.
to understand that you as far as what I do, all of us for real, you got people who's gonna bring anything to you and they expect you to fix their problem. That's what we do. Especially being a trainer in general. Me or being a personal trainer, physical trainer, your coach, whatever, they're coming to you. I remember Daniel said they're coming to you at their worst time in their life.
Mhm.
And they coming to tell you everything that they're going through, everything they've been through. Oh, I feel like this. Oh, I don't think I look like this. So it's like me, I'm taking all this in what I'm facing outside of my own world. I'm like, oh, you're gonna be all right. I'm still here. I'll pat your back, do all this extra stuff. But that just sometimes it just wear and tear you as well. Cause you
Absolutely.
like, God, Lee, like, what can I do to help you? But I'm trying to help myself too.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like my draining piece is like I'm starting to like, I don't want to say I'm not, I love to work out for myself, but like now I'm at a point where it's like, all right, but somebody just asked me the other day, like, hey, you still at the gym? I'm like, yeah, I am at the gym, but I want to be in a backstage. I want to be able to just do my stuff in the office. Like, I
Mhm.
don't want to be front face no more. I don't want to be, hey, you got 10 reps, you got this, you got this. I don't want to do that no more. But I don't know. Again, it could be time. It probably ain't my time to be doing that right now. But that's what I feel. 'Cause
No,
I feel like
I
it's
think
a lot.
it's all a indication. Like, I don't think you should doubt yourself. If you're feeling that, I think
Yeah.
you need to figure out the system how to get towards that, right? Like, I think we were all given a compass inside of us that's showing us the direction. And when we feel that internally, there's a season for it. And I think, that means it's time for some form of inspiration, right? Like, me and Nicole was having a conversation the other day, and she said, she quoted the scripture in the Bible where it talks about in Psalms 23, like your cup runneth over. And we pointed out the most important piece of that sentence is your cup, right? Nobody talks about, everybody talks about the running over or the giving, but you're supposed to give from your runneth over, right? We're giving from the cup. And then when the cup is empty, now we're empty, there's nothing else to give. So I'm a firm believer of you give from your run over, right? Because their run over is the fruit that you have bore, right? A fruit tree don't eat its own fruit, right? The fruit is for everybody else, but if it's not nurtured, watered, the sun, then it's never going to bear that fruit. So I think you're at a place where you've been given, and I think as entrepreneur, we all go through those phases where we just give based on everything we got, right? And then the cool part about it is we exhaust that. And then it's that pivotal moment of, all right, what do I do now? Right. Where is my discipline? What did I learn from giving all of this? What don't I like? What do I like? What is sustainable? Right. Because if you don't find a way of something sustainable, then you're gonna, this stuff is gonna become a memory. You don't want it to become a memory. So I think key parts is finding that inspiration. I'm so happy for you that you found that therapist, because there's no way that you can continue to work with people if you not getting worked on yourself. Like we take on this mindset like we're the experts in what we do. No, we've just dedicated our life to learn more about it and share with people. But we supposed to be the experts of us and getting that help and getting that support so your cup can be full, right? And you got to fill that cup up. So I know X was huge on that. Like you found your rhythm of before, I think it was 3 months that you had to go somewhere or something of that nature, to find that inspiration. And for you as traveling, I'm not saying that's like that for everybody, but I think you got to try those pieces and be willing to let something run for you to get filled back up. But you gotta get refilled and recharged, because now you're running on empty, and the car ain't gonna be able to go but so much further if it's on E.
That's real.
Your light is on now. You still trying to go.
That's real.
Engine. That's real life.
The gas light.
Yeah, I mean, there's not. I can't take nothing away from you. Everything you said was Bible.
Yeah.
Like you really will. You'll start running yourself into the ground. And it can get really serious. You know what I'm saying? I think what he's saying is true. But as a man, us knowing all circumstances and situations, I would be very, very careful of how close you get to burnout, because you don't know what it's going to end up like.
True.
So I take that as, I could look into the camera and say that, like, be very, very careful when you know you're about to burn out. Like, be very, very careful of how close you get to that without like really assessing and like taking a step back. And regardless of who it makes, who it inconveniences, like that's your life.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
At the end of the day, bro, like that's really your life. And 9 times out of 10, 9 times it's not 9 times out of 10, but the people that we see end up like doing things that are like, why? It's because they knew something was about to happen. They probably spoke on it and nobody said nothing. Nobody encouraged. Nobody said nothing. They felt like they didn't have no more hope. So, as you're speaking on it, right? Like now it's time to act on it.
Take some steps.
You got to take those steps.
And you're in therapy. That's great. But
you got to keep taking those steps. If that means like, hey, I need to just take a drive, or I just need to cancel my sessions for a week and regroup on everything, like, the money is always going to be there.
Yeah.
Because I know you said it's not a financial thing, but like,
no, I get it's always going to be.
It's always going to be a thing. But like, literally, bro, and
that'd be a reason that you won't stop, because you think about the money, even if you don't need it. But it's like, oh, I can't.
Yeah,
no, that's always a major financial. Always a major piece.
It's always
it's a rabbit running a race, like, but you can't chase. That's the thing. Like they tell us we can't chase it. You're not supposed to. But at the same time, that's something that, of course, everybody needs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely get that. I know you had that self-care talk last time. I missed that.
Me.
Yeah, self-care talk last time. A lot of people came back and was like, "Yo, it was dope."
It's big, like, man. It's how many knows and how many people like said stuff to me about my trip to Africa, bro. Like, y'all have no clue of the feedback, the lashback, all of that stuff that I got. How did you spend this much time in there? What about this? What about this? Da da da.
Like, why does that matter?
Like, bro, I came back a new man.
Bro.
and I came back able to speak and able to like have relationships where I felt
Bro.
like, bro, I was ready to just, hey, I'm done.
Yeah.
New York, same thing. Like I'm ready to just
Yeah.
I'll stay in New York.
It's always right
LA,
on time,
it's
man.
always,
I
it's
remember,
always
I
right
remember
on
you
time,
said
and
you
I'm gonna
say that
keep
too.
doing it. Like
Yeah.
I had no reason to come back from New York.
Yeah.
None. I could have
remember.
stayed in
I remember.
Africa very, very much so. I'm me a little job cutting up pineapples. Like for real.
I love
I'm dead serious though. Like that. But
I just said because for me, this is my first year really putting it in practice.
Yeah.
But I literally take off January from Christmas until March 1st, right? Like there's nothing if the price is right, I may do, but there's nothing major that I'm doing at this time. I'm not starting with any new clients during this time. I'm not doing any of that. And I'm not saying everybody has that capability, but I remember, shout out to Kiko. She really helped me to kind of map this thing out where she said if a baby can be born and made
all the time
in 9 months, then why can't your dream or your vision? So, because we get so caught up in start the year, we got to start the year. You got to
say it one more time.
If a baby can be formed and born in 9 months, then your dreams can too, right? So I remember I took that like, whoa. So now to start the year, it's all within the rhythm of nature, and if you're capable of doing that, and I suggest it is that. Bears hibernate, all the animals go to sleep, and we still trying to push through thinking we getting ahead when really you burning yourself out. For me, so now I can feel myself like we just got back from Gannon, and because I had taken this time and really worked on myself, I felt rejuvenated. I felt like I was excited about going out there. I felt refreshed about the things that was coming to my mind, as opposed to just doing stuff just to be doing it.
Right.
Now it's a certain level you got to work to doing that. And I knew at the beginning of last year, I wanted to do that this year. So I put myself in position to be able to do it. Now I had to say no to a lot of stuff, right? I had to avoid a lot of things and let some people down. But I feel as the sun's coming out in the spring and things are blooming, so is my passion. So is my, I'm revitalized with the things that I really want to do. And it's really helped me to kind of hone in for these next 9 months, what it is that I'm capable of. Because naturally you get older, and y'all know, like I was running myself so ragged that, my blood pressure had gotten through the roof. I was having pains everywhere. It was all type of stuff because I was getting to that burnout phase, and I didn't want to recognize it because it was what we're used to. But Father Time is going to tell you what you need to do, and it doesn't mean quit. It just means let's either re-energize, recalibrate, or reset. Right?
That makes sense.
Welcome to another episode, man. That's a heck of an intro.
That was a big intro.
That's a heck of the intro, man. How we doing there, fellas?
Hey,
I'm doing well. Mentally, I feel like I'm pretty sharp. I feel like these snow days have been like, God is like, I see you, bro. I see you.
I couldn't live nowhere that you had to keep going during the snow. I don't think I could do it.
This snow days have been beautiful. Physically, I feel like I'm getting back to that summertime. I'd say my African regimen. And then wintertime is always hard for me, bro.
Yeah, that's
You're
tough.
in the house, man. Like on cakes and pies and cookies and
that's what you do inside. That's what you do.
What I say, physically, mentally, socially. Socially is cool. It's cool. I'm still on my it marks a year on March with no liquor. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Marks a year. I appreciate it.
It's two for me.
Yeah, it makes a year.
Yeah,
so.
that's
let me
dope.
go ahead and join. Me join, because my eyes started to turn yellow. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a jaundice.
Yeah, bro. I'm like really, really proud of myself, and I think
I am too.
It opened up a lane for me where it was like, all right, X, if you can do this in the most social, you're the most social animal around. Like, if you can do this, you literally can do anything, bro. And you could change anything around you.
That's real.
Like,
I remember that night. That's the crazy part.
I said, I'm done.
But I remember that night before, and we was drinking before, and then the differences. You could see it, like just tripping out, like literally.
Yeah. Stupid.
It's crazy.
It's a beautiful process because you get to see yourself, and you have to be so much more cognizant and intentional about where you're going and what's your purpose and what are you trying to dilute and
clarity.
And all those things, bro. Like,
and now I get to places and I don't even ask for it. Like I'm just, oh yeah, let me get a water.
no, yeah.
Like I don't even.
I just hate to pick and I'll be around and be like, you don't drink. That's a girl thing. I'll be like,
oh yeah. You remember
because he drinking wine?
You call me. Oh, you. What do you say?
What was that? Six and Sky.
We was at somewhere downtown, and he kind of disrespected me, but I had to like.
I know, but the growth of you, I seen it.
Right.
I seen it.
Because now I'm in so many spaces too, where things are challenged, like your pride and all of that, your manhood is constantly challenged.
Yeah.
So if alcohol was a part of that,
yeah,
I would have a different result.
Oh, for sure.
And then also you got to look at the reason of like, whoa, they really are, you know, and again, nothing against no one, but why are you trying to get me to drink? Like, am I that different? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what is that motive behind it? No, I can be clear headed. I can have just as much fun and conversation. What is me not drinking hurting you, right? That's something in you that you want me to overlook because you need me to be intoxicated, and you're saying that this girl.
That makes sense.
So it's so many pieces that you will gradually avoid those people, right? Because or you're going to inspire them to not drink themselves, right? And that's the biggest thing, man. Congratulations, bro. It's
a year.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
water
beautiful
Saturday.
Thing. Yeah. It's just
popping that water.
I'm telling you, you're gonna start to fall in love with all the sparkling waters and all the mocktails. I'm a mocktail king, boy. Them things just as expensive, so it's
so that's expensive. Expensive non-drinker.
Yeah.
Special.
So when we're talking and we're crazy intro, right? I think it all flows into everything, right? I think it all goes back to, and I don't even want to say back, but it refers to your why. Like, why did you start this thing in the first place, right? Like, what made you take that leap? What was that real reason for? And the real one, right? Like, we can all give the politically correct response of, and it could be, but my kids, and I had to, but there's really even something I think deeper than that even sparked it for you to even think about why this would even benefit your kids or your life. I think we have that internal kind of dialogue about a real why. It doesn't even have to be that deep, or it could be super deep.
Yeah. You mean like we be somewhere and we say, "Oh, this is why I started," but in the back of your mind,
yeah, it's really something like some people can say all this deep stuff, but it really, I was broke as hell. Right? I didn't have.
I hope you ain't jumping to.
But what I'm saying is, but even if that was the why, I think, referring back to that, if that was it and how it's changed, can be super beneficial to why you kind of started. For me, a huge part of my why, I think, was connected to, I felt like there had to be more. Right. I felt like I had settled in certain parts. I felt like I had done what society said you should do, which is great, right? I had went to college, I had done the things, I had gotten a master's degree, I had climbed the ladder, I had done all these things, and I just felt like once I reached this pinnacle, so to speak, I was just like, this can't be life, right? And not that it was this terrible thing, but I just truly felt like I had gone through too much, I fought through too much for this to be it. And I remember it being like, it has to be something else, and I had to do something drastic to kind of change it. Now the why I started versus why I'm maintaining it can be two different things, right? Like, why I started, I think, was really had a lot to do with this can't be it. It has to be more. I haven't lived to my full potential. I don't want to just be here for 30, 40 years in this same spot. Now the why I keep going, I think that has a lot of different pieces to it, including family and my faith and the people that have believed in me. But that initial kind of just jolt to go get it, I was just tired of life throwing me around. I was tired of every time I got scared, I would fall back, or I would have all these ideas, or I would talk to you all the time and see all these things that you were doing. I'm like, oh man, I feel like I just felt like I kept allowing life to dictate where I was going, and I got tired of it. So it was like, win, lose, or draw. I got to do something different.
That's tough. That's tough.
So
Definitely, I definitely get back off of that. But my why, it wasn't really like no big traumatic thing that happened. It was more so like, again, you was in a job. They put you into a bracket first of all. Like they tell you what you're going to make, how far you're going to go, your 401k, all this extra stuff. But I feel like I was just working so hard for somebody else when I could do that for myself. My biggest thing was just to change, like just change and seeing the community how we all struggle, like just the community itself struggle with high blood pressure, diabetes, all types of things. And I just know that me, again, when we talked about it earlier, how I like to exercise, I like to work out, but that can be something that can help anybody, kids, grandmas, aunties, uncles, all type of people. And just to start it, to make sure at the same time we was facing what it was like 2021.
Mhm.
That's when all those cops killings and all this stuff, the
Mhm.
black community was going crazy, going down. And I was like, something has to change, like the way we can bring each other together, how to cultivate. Again, I was here a lot as well, seeing all these speakeasies. How many people came together just for something like that? Speakeasies, parties, just little parties. Like it wasn't even nothing major, but it was just stuff that you could see people coming together. And I was like, how can we do this in a healthy room? Like, how can we do this in a way to, bring people together and understand that it's more than just, having high blood pressure and diabetes. Those are one of the biggest things. And I just see the change you can help. I would just call to be a helper in general. Always been like that since I was a kid. Like, of course, my last name Adams. Like, I've always was first in line in school, like all the time. Like, lead, 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 lead. Um,
Oh wow, I know
so,
that.
so like, I just always use that. Like, okay, it's something that I should be doing. Like, even in my job, like they call me to this day. They still want me to come back. This is years prior. Like, we need you. We can get you
You
in the
was a
spot.
great worker.
Like, and I'm like,
You
and people
was
be like, "Yo, you Jamaican?" I'm like, "Nah, bro. I'm just a regular person, but I like to work. Like, I like to work." So it's like I feel like I can just bring that into something that I like to do, and I feel like that's what helps me. And that made me
1000%.
just wanted to continue to keep doing it.
true.
But again, it's not. I wasn't looking for no financial piece. I wasn't looking for no. Oh, let's just change something. That was more so just to help other people. And it's still progressing now, and I'm grateful for that. So I can't really say it was too much of a traumatic or crazy reason to get this to my why. What about you, man? I know
Mm,
you got a story.
I'm kind of a blend of both.
Mhm.
Um, when I think about it intentionally, the first thing that came to my mind is
Mhm.
like, oh, I started because it was, I had this creative mind and I wanted to da da da. Da. But when I really start to think about it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got kicked off the football team, flunked out of my master's program, ended back home, couldn't get into a master's program.
Damn. I'm sorry, that just came out loud. My bad.
It was a lot.
My bad.
So maybe it is traumatic.
God, Lee, you just said fuck everything, bro. My God, Lee. Kicked off the
So I got-
collegiate Division One football
Yeah,
team.
he had to say all that.
They said get out of here. Like you got to go. X'd out X.
Listen,
Lord, and I first. Ooh, that's hard to do, y'all. So,
that's probably hurt.
we could put that, bro. That's hard
so
to
I
do.
got back home.
Daggone.
I came back home and
That's why you so successful, bro.
I definitely saw. I prayed to God every day to be in the NFL, and I felt like I blew my chance.
Wow.
I feel like I blew my chance. I ain't work out. Football came easy to me. All sports came easy to me. I was an athlete. Anything I put my hand in, anything I put my mind to, I could do it.
What?
Huh?
What else?
What you mean?
Other than football?
I played baseball, I played basketball, I wrestled.
You can hoop?
Yeah,
You can't hoop.
you tripping.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
Listen, you know I can hoop. You know
Who you're playing against? It's all relative.
No, at the end of the day, an athlete is an athlete.
No,
An athlete is an athlete.
that's real.
And I might not be the best, but an athlete is an athlete. So yeah, I think it was I think God placed me back at home for a reason. One, to slow down. Two, I think it was an immense amount of creativity that was needed here
Mm-hmm.
to start things. I do think that I'm a trailblazer, so I think it's naturally. I think I'm very much naturally a giver because I started a nonprofit first,
Yeah,
right?
bro.
So I started off giving. Like I didn't see any income in sight.
Mhm.
Um, that the nonprofit has never ever been a resource. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying financially for me.
Right,
Like
right.
it's never been that. So I think starting off giving, and then I always looked at it as like, all right, this is my second chance. Like business was my second chance at the pros.
Wow.
And it was like, all
That's
right,
dope.
God, if you give me this second chance, bro, I'm not gonna blow it. Like, and I've had all the same distractions, all the same like, and I'm not gonna say I haven't like failed tests. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but I definitely think that coming back here, I was able to like really hone in on like, wait, X, like you're actually smart. Because I was never really told I was smart. I was always, second, third string, and even in college,
Mm-hmm.
never started. So, it's almost like a dream deferred.
Mhm.
And coming back here was like, wait, like I'm a starter. Like, I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, keep your position. Like, but when you get that position, because I always told myself, I always saw NFL players around. I was like, dang, bro, if I was in the league, I'd be giving back to my community. I'd do this, I'd do
Mhm,
this.
mhm.
And I think God was just like, all right,
All right.
I ain't gonna give you the lead, but I'm gonna give you something
Right, right,
and
right.
see what you do with it.
Wow.
And so I feel like, it all came back around where he gave me my shot at the league. It doesn't look like what I thought it was gonna look like. It's just as hard.
Yeah.
I still gotta sacrifice
You
everything that I
became a
have.
pro at
I
something. You
still
still
became
became
a
professional at something.
exactly.
That's dope.
And I think that's God's way of just like, all right, I'm gonna give you a why. And it's not gonna look like what you thought it was gonna look like, but let me see what you do. Let me
Mhm.
see if you know what I'm saying, you handle the blessings that I give you. And so I think my personal why is just like, why not?
Right.
Why not? That's,
It's
that's it.
it's like, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I was home. I was complaining when I first came home. You could ask my mom, like, man, when if I was with my boys at school, I'd be doing this, or they had this in Norfolk, they had this in DC. I applied for jobs in LA, I applied for jobs in New York, I applied for
Wow.
jobs in Houston, Chicago, didn't get none of them. And I just stopped complaining. I literally stopped complaining and started creating. I went to
That's
Cash
dope.
Converters, I picked up a camera and looked on YouTube, read about the camera, started shooting, started making money through that. That landed into doing weddings. The weddings landed into um, me understanding contracts and things like that. And then just one thing
And it's
after
so
another.
crazy how
Mhm.
our timing times up because I think I had moved back right around the same time
Yeah,
and all that stuff. But it's so wild when in hindsight, even though you got, dismissed from a Division 1 program, you
yeah.
got kicked out
He
of all
ain't
these
have to say that. He
places,
ain't have to
you
say
got, you flunked out your master's program and all those things. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, there's a point. There's a point. It was
He said
all
it's important.
no, it's a point, is what I'm trying to
No,
say.
like
It's
you
a
said, it's
point.
important. It's
No,
important.
no. Like in
I'm like a
hindsight,
slave.
all those things had to happen.
It's
And I
important, man. It's important. It's important not go see
no
her.
listen,
It's
all
important not go see her, Master. I said it's important not go
oh,
see her.
bro. What I'm trying to say is
It's important.
all those things had to
All
happen,
those things had to happen, bro.
right? In
Yeah,
order because again, and what I was saying earlier with you, Black, is like we can think that we are in this divine control and we're deciding where to go and all these things. But even back then, that the things you're doing now were planted in you, right? So
mhm,
so you try to bring them out in other parts of your life.
yeah,
And we ended up getting to the point where it was second, third string, or we're almost there, where those things naturally were going to fall apart in the first place to get us in line with where it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
So I
mhm,
think the biggest thing is you got to keep going. Like I think if you would have stopped right when you came home and you just was like, all right, I'm not going to do anything, then I think you would have been stuck there. And a lot of people end up at that point. They get stuck at what didn't happen as opposed to keeping going and creating and figuring
yeah,
out what's next and just getting back to square one. All right, what is that one thing I like to do? I mean, I can take a camera and we can start there. So I think even though the story can seem so bleak at parts of it, if you have the ability to keep going, then your why can be produced and be pulled out of it, and can be the light can be shown on it in the middle of the darkest times of your life. And I think, unfortunately, we have to go through those dark times to believe that it's time to make a change. So again, going back to that conversation at the beginning, don't wait until it gets so dark that you got to look for something, right? Like don't wait.
I just said that too.
You know what I'm saying? Don't wait thinking, oh no, I'm gonna mess this up. No, bro, you have to, like if your gut says it, then I would much rather get ahead of it and make a decision. Strong, see.
Say your last statement one more time.
No, I'm just saying that we have to find a way to keep going and not allow ourselves to get to that the darkest part of it, and to get ahead of it and trust our gut, right? Because I guarantee that there was a point, you probably can't think back then, that could have been like, man, I probably should do something else, right? Like or
no, you remember the point when I tried to go back to grad school again.
I'm talking about even
before,
even when you were in school playing football, that there could have been a point like that.
What year was that?
2000. I got cut 2012.
Damn, I just went to high school.
I played my. I was just talking to my boys about this, and I would have never saw this coming. And this is what I try to tell athletes to this day, bro. Like
4 years.
I played my redshirt junior year. That fall, balled out, pledged, all of that. Went to school. Came back that Christmas break. I remember Coach Heatherman called me and was like, "Hey, X, I think you need to call Coach Wilder." I'm like, "Nah, bro, you my position coach. I need to talk to you. What's up? Like, you calling me on break, so something is up. What's up?" Like, I think you need to go see Coach. I'm like, all right. Call Coach, walk to the facility, and he's like, "Hey, look, we're not renewing your scholarship. Like, your time is done." I'm like, "What?" Like, I just had a hell of a season, like balling out on special teams, you know what I'm saying? Second string. Like, I'm balling out. Like, I'm doing my job. Right. I know I'm not a starter. I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was like, all right, bet. Like, cried like a baby. And then you just try to figure life out.
Yeah, bro.
Just try to figure life out, bro. I'm just down there, just maneuvering. So you know it.
That's the same story.
What am I supposed to do, bro? I've been playing the sport since I was 5 years old. I don't know nothing.
You ain't getting no internships. You ain't tried nothing else. You ain't know. Nope. You got this degree that you don't even know what to do with.
But luckily, I did have a foundation of like giving and like I did have that foundation of church and stuff like that. So I was able to get into some rec centers and get into some schools, and like I started mentoring, and all of those things, like you said, naturally compounded into God knew what he was doing. It was no better time. I wasn't supposed to play that last season. As bad as it hurt, I wasn't supposed to. I wasn't supposed to play that last season.
That's so, because very similar. I had a 5th year left, but because of a relationship I was in my 4th year, my senior year, I thought, oh, I'm gonna get married. We about to graduate, and I remember, and plus our head coach was going to Florida A&M, and he was the one that really believed in me and saw all this stuff in me and continued to renew my scholarship and all that stuff. So he was leaving. So naturally I was like, oh nah. And the head coach that was coming in, he was the defensive coordinator at the time. He was not a fan of me, right? Put it like that. And I just saw the writing on the wall, and I was like, let me go ahead and get up out of here. And then right after I put in my, I'm gonna go ahead and graduate, say goodbye to the team. I'm not coming back for my 5th year. And mind you, I could have probably started my 5th year. It was looking like that. But I was like, all right, I'm good. Very next week, relationship dwindles, right? They broke up, all this stuff started to happen. I couldn't get it back. So life had to start. And it was that same type of thing was, I spent 4 years after graduation just out there, just kind of, really took me 9 years post graduating to figure out what else did I want to be a professional in. Right. So
do you feel like, I know I'm not gonna go too far off the track, but I feel like after all of that, no matter what, I still look back at it to this day and I'm like, this was on you, bro.
Oh yeah.
This was on you. I ain't live. I ain't never.
Oh
I ain't never studied film.
I lifted. I did all of it. I
I
presented
did.
myself
I
like
did
a
what I
starter.
was supposed to do, but I didn't go the extra mile.
I think that comes from we were already overachievers coming from where we from to get to where we was at already. So I think that's more so we got to the point where we were kind of doing the best that we knew. For me, right? Like I did all the right things, and it just came to a point where I knew I had done. knew I knew I had
drop it.
I knew I had done everything, but
That's
for me, which is why I motivate
Red
the game.
Sox is crazy.
Why motivate the game is so important is because I needed to motivate the game when I was in college. If I would have had
Yeah.
a motivate the game to process my mental, right? Because I knew that's really where it was. That was a lack of confidence. I still was one of the fastest players on my team. I still was up there doing a lot of great things, but I couldn't get past the mental blockage.
I looked your stuff up. You ran a 4.8.
You are ridiculous. You better get you better check
With
the,
braids.
yeah, right. I did have braids. I
And in a
did,
ponytail.
yeah, bro. You better look it up, bro. People know,
Nah,
but
yeah.
Y'all got a timeline. I was only in high school, so I can't really say none of that.
Yeah,
other than I did to somebody the other day. I'm like,
you really about 35.
It makes sense why I'm here at this point as well. Like as far as leading and like my why, because like even in like awards, like football, basketball, I got like what is it awarded the unsung hero award. So, of course, that means somebody that always show up for everybody,
Yeah, like,
never complains,
7th, 8th man off the bench.
never happens, but that is never happened. Never complains, always show up, you always get stuff done, such and such. This is football and basketball. Mind, I didn't play football till 11th grade. Came in, started. Senior year started. So slot receiver and tight end.
And if you look at that, you're probably going there, but you were doing that because you wanted to do those things, and that's making you do what you do
let
now.
him say that. He probably would have said that.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to.
He said you're probably going there,
Yeah.
but nah, for real. Like came in and started, like did both things, and
what did you start at? Like what position in football did you?
At tight end at first, the worst place, number 35. I'm tight end.
Wait a minute.
You know how much I weighed?
Wait a minute.
5'5".
I weighed 170 at tight end,
bro.
With a 19-inch vertical.
Baby Gronk, bro. Like, wait a minute. I was not expecting that. Well, I guess,
but once I grew second, no. Once they noticed my senior year, I was slot. I started slot receiver. So slot receiver.
Oh, you were a tight end like in high school?
Yes. So
wait,
my 11th grade year.
I would have bullied you.
Oh, I got bullied.
I was about to say,
I ain't even gonna lie to you,
bro.
The ends is 250.
But it's so much to say to your personality now. Like that is really. I didn't know that.
Stepping in the big road.
I'm like, I gotta hold this 250-pound man right in front of me. Ain't no way. He ain't supposed to be in here. He supposed to be graduating. And I'm
angry
like,
little.
And I'm like, but again, senior year comes and I'm starting slot receiver, taking somebody's spot. They transfer schools. So I took his spot. And like again, that goes into, and that was the coach's parents award. Like he had his parents deceased. He named the awards after his parents. Like the unsung hero or whatever. Like I forgot, like an iron. I got it at home. But more of the story is like I was like meant to be where I am as far as leadership.
Absolutely. I see it.
Because again, it was like I was always that person that just shut up and get it done. Like, bro, what you complain for? You complain to him, he gonna complain to you.
So can I go deeper?
I know that to be very true.
Yeah, you tell somebody
just working with you.
Oh, my shoulder hurt. Then they're gonna say, "Oh man, my knees hurting too." First thing, as soon as you complain, they're gonna complain right after you.
So let's go deeper though. Why did you do that then? Let's go even because your why I feel like you were born with. I feel like it goes why at that age, if you can think back, why did you even get there early, always show up on time? Why did you do that?
Because I always wanted to be the one that could be depended on. Like always want to be the one that can be. You can I can depend on him. If something happened, I can always go to him. And that's why I feel like is now. Like I can go to him because I know if I'm out of shape and I'm just now trying to get myself back, I can go to him because I can depend on what he's going to tell me in my knowledge.
Yeah.
Now you got to figure out, can you depend on you?
And that's big because I ask myself that all the time. That's why I said I feel like I'm falling out of love with. I don't say out of love, but not having the same passion as I did when I once started because of what you just said. Like I don't have the hey, can I depend on me? I don't know. Like I work out every day. I'm thinking that's good enough for me, but that's not enough. That's an hour.
So
That's an hour a day.
No, I was just gonna say I don't think the depending on you is like you're gonna work out.
Exactly.
That's gonna come
Right.
habitually. Like, but I think is there's other levels of like can you depend on yourself? Like, do you trust yourself in certain situations that you usually fail at? Do you can can God bless you with certain things and like you don't fail the test?
I'm living that right now.
Yeah,
As we
and I
speak.
told you history repeats
are
itself.
you
I'm living that
recovering?
right now.
How you do one thing
right.
is how you
I'm
do everything.
exactly.
Correct,
And I'm
correct.
living that right now, and it's like a test for me right now. And this is really testing me. Like, all right, like again, here we go.
Yeah,
Like, what you gonna do about it, and
Right.
how are you gonna move with it? So, but I've made it this point to like to myself to like, okay, I do not want to continue to have this same trend to myself. Like, I'm letting myself down, but I don't even look at
So-
myself down either because I look at my children, my daughters, and that's a big thing in everything that I do. So to be like, all right, if I continue to live this same way, this is another reason I got into therapy. So I don't, not to get too deep, but like relationships,
yeah.
like
Mhm.
how they always end the same way. Like it ends the same
It's a
way.
test.
And it's like, all right, dog, you thought you prayed for this person. It might not have been who it is, but it just popped up and you accepted it because it was right there. So I'm gonna give you this test again. Like, do you really want what you pray for? And can you handle it? That's what I'm saying. I'm facing that as we speak. Like I'm facing all of those things as far as, money getting dumped, all that stuff. And it's like now I'm at a test where I have to depend on myself and make sure that I can say please God. I'd rather please him than anybody else to please God and be like, all right, cool. Like I'm gonna do it this time. I'm gonna do it the right way. So yeah, to answer your question, depending on myself, it's getting there. I'm learning, I'm going through it. It's a process. But back then I could never say no, I did not.
And I think you need to, because I kind of said that out there when we were talking, is like we get so caught up, we're trying to go back to something, right? We're trying to I remember when it was, right?
Yeah.
And you said like I got to get my passion back.
Yeah.
What if that passion was only needed for that time? What if
Get
what
the spark,
to
yeah.
get that like what if that passion never comes back? We have to go and get whatever the new thing is. Like, what is the new level of passion that you found since you've done this, right? Like since you've been this level of entrepreneur and you've done it this way, what have you, stepped into that is this new thing? Because we can fall in love so much with what's comfortable, and it can not even be on purpose, right? It can be this thing of, oh, I'm used to doing it this way. I liked when it was this way. And the same thing in relationships. You can, start to, this person's changed, or I like this about this individual. But unless you're willing to grow with you too,
Right.
then you're always going to feel like you're falling short. So I think it's, and as you go through therapy, I'm hoping that your therapist will bring that up. It's not about going back, right? Like it's about finding the new thing, finding the new way that you like, and compare it to the past. Because again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're steady trying to get back, you're steady, people who trying to lose weight, I'm trying to look like I did, and you will never look or be that way. You can be better than you were. You can be, it works, but you can't go back to anything. You got to go towards something. So really the question is, what are you going towards? What are you trying to get to? Because if you keep trying to go back and relive something, you're always going to get the same results.
I think it's important too to just like when you say like when we talk about like what is your why, I want to just emphasize like it's okay for your why to change.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where I might have struggled a little bit of like saying like this is my why because my why today is completely different than my why of why I started. It's completely different. And I think that should be normalized for it to be okay. If somebody says, "Why did you start it?" That's different than why do you wake up every day now?
Right.
Because yours may be Jack.
Bro, absolutely.
Yours may be Layla. Like I'm saying, it's completely different. Mine is going to be completely different. I think that we need to normalize that because if you can find your why for today, like you said, like what is your why for today? Not what woke you up yesterday, but what is your why for today? Right. And that's gonna get you through today.
Exactly.
And then if it's tomorrow, you gotta find a new why. Then damn it, you find a new why.
That's
but
real.
you don't quit.
Right.
Like
Right.
that's the
Right.
main thing. You just don't let
I
those
love
things
it. I love it. I love it.
subside you to where you just like, I don't got no why no more. No,
Exactly.
you got a why.
You got a why.
You got a why. You just got to figure out what is it today that's gonna
Today.
get me through to where I wake up
Today.
tomorrow.
Today.
Yeah, today.
Because biblically it says, right? Like, grace is sufficient for today.
Yeah.
Grace renews daily, right? Even if we look back, I always refer back to this children of Israel, like God sent enough manna from heaven when they were in the wilderness for the day. They couldn't take
Yeah.
none into tomorrow. So,
Mhm.
because tomorrow had its own blessings and
Yep.
its own problems waiting for you. So, I think
Matthew,
I think that's so important, because if we were to look at this thing like we were, I love the analogy of like where we pushed away from land. Now we're in the middle of the ocean. The thing that you chose to push away, now you're in the middle of the ocean, ain't gonna be the same thing that's gonna
Yeah.
keep you rolling to this place that you don't even know where you're going.
Right.
Like I think out of everything we said, you have to find a way to fall in love with the journey of it all, and
Right.
not the destination, and not where we're going. I know that's so cliche, but if we were to really break down everything we've overcome, what we've done, the statistics of the possibilities of us being right here and in this moment, it's slim to none for any of this stuff to happen.
Right.
But we get so caught up thinking about our why we started and where we're going, that all this stuff in the middle of the gap that we lose track of, we can't enjoy it. It's filled with burnout. It's filled with what we're doing next. Where if you can break it down, what's my why for today? Why did I keep going today? And then go to sleep proud of what you did. Then tomorrow, rejuvenate, try again. Hopefully they stack on top of each other. But know that whatever you need is going to be given into you when you need it.
Right. Right. That
And
makes
then
sense.
I'm gonna compile that. We're saying you'll have your time where you'll have to go back to the why you started. And it may not be right now, but I know I've had my time where I'm like, wait, X, why did you start this thing? Right. Just to get like I've had that time.
Mhm.
So I hope it doesn't negate anything that I'm saying.
No.
Because like I've seen myself move away so far
Mhm.
away from the core values, I would say,
Absolutely.
of
Absolutely.
why. 'Cause when
Mhm.
you started it, you have core values. You said
Mhm.
community.
Mhm.
I'm saying you said together, whatever. So there's gonna be a time where you'll scale and you'll move naturally. You'll just move away from some of those values. I pray you don't, but I think it happens. And you'll have to like regroup of like,
Right. Right.
wait, bro. Like, why you start this thing? Like, remember how you started this thing. You started this thing off giving.
Mhm.
Like, don't get too far away from that.
Mhm.
Because then it's not really in the core values of the organization. So I hope that doesn't negate what I'm saying. I just want you to make sure that
No, I got. I got. I
every
got
day
that.
you wake up, it is a new.
But make a decision.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think when we can get so caught up in this limbo space of trying to figure it out. The only way I feel is if you're gonna know what you're feeling is right, wrong, or indifferent, is you got to make a decision, right? Like you have to be brave enough to say, all right, I'm gonna do this thing to figure out what happens. Because if you think about it, if you stay in limbo too long, all you're doing is lolling over the past, right?
Right.
Past hypothesis, past things that happen, past situations where if you get stuck for too long, it's like, all right, make a decision. Let's decide to go towards this thing. And I think in going towards that, it's going to shine light on everything that you're feeling that you feel cloudy now. It's just when you're in this indecisiveness of not knowing what to do next. What should I do? Should I do this? I feel like that's where I know, right? Because I talk about this in therapy with my clients, is that's where anxiety, depression, and all those things start to creep in, is when you're in this indecisive space of not knowing where to go. When you can ask for input all day, yes, you should take that information, but you still got to be the one to walk it out.
Right.
You still got to be the one to take a step towards it, and you still got to be the one that's going to trust yourself that when you do get an inclination like this is the way I'm going, like you got to go be willing to go all in.
Mhm.
And that goes to, like we talked about it, the difference between external and internal. We can get so caught up with external things trying to, base our why or where we're going based on external forces. Are people paying for it? Do people like it? What are people saying about it? And you get so caught up in that you forget the internal fulfillment of what you said you was going to do, right? Of you making these decisions, of you having to live with yourself, at the end of the night when you come home and you've based all your decisions on everyone else. I think it has to go to a point where there's some form of internal motivation that you trust in, right?
Mhm.
Because God put it inside of you. God put you showing up to practice early inside of you, even though you were playing tight end at 4'8". Like God put that inside of you for you to be, you know what I'm saying? Like most people wouldn't do that. God put it inside of you to come back.
So listen, so
all I'm saying is it's all internal. I think people get to benefit from the internal battles that you go through that you decide to share with the world. People benefit from that stuff. But if you don't work on the internal fulfillment and the internal battles and the internal motivations, then it don't matter what externally someone else wants or even your family wants. It all has to start with that internal fulfillment. Like
I think what he said about the decision making is probably going to be the key thing too. And how the why really influences that. I remember when you talked about it, I smiled because this is the same talk he had with me. And it was like, just make a decision. And I made a decision and I got feedback. I got, negative, positive, I'm still here.
No, for real.
Yeah.
I'm still here. So like, I don't know. I don't even know if you're in that point where you got to say it may not even be a decision to make. Right. Like I think, but the indecisiveness does cause some anxiety.
Oh, for sure.
Again, I don't even know.
And no, I mean, I definitely made decisions, big ones, lately. And I feel like, of course, that is very much so needed because you're going to be confused. You're going to confuse yourself. What you want to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And somebody will ask you, what you doing? I'm like, I don't know. So, having a decision already, and of course, it says, what we said, long-term success is definitely going to create that because it could either make or break you now or later. Never know what's going to come, but that internal piece as far as, the God and give you discernment on things, give you so much insight on what you should and shouldn't do. And it's just about if you really going to do it. Yeah. So like once you continue to, let's say, for instance, like you said, going to practice, or that's how I was at work. Like I'm at work on time, early. That's why they like, oh, he always shine. Oh, it's him. Like we want to get him. I want to bring him back. That's just a piece of me that I feel like I was called to do. Like I'm supposed to be that leader. That's why we keep going back to that leadership. Like I'm supposed to be that leader.
So why are you psyching yourself out of that position?
Yeah, bro.
It ain't even that. It's not even the psyching myself out the position. It's like I feel like it probably is time for a break. Like, but I don't know how to do that. So it's like that goes into a decision making as well. Cause like, how do you do that? Like,
but you got to understand really quick, the same way you learn how to do all them exercises that you be in there killing people doing, the same way you can learn how to take a break. Right? Like you it's
actually taking a break.
Yeah, like
if that's what it is.
It's all a skill.
So I'm saying you don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
But that's what I'm saying is you gotta be willing to try it because again, I gotta like that's a tangible skill too. We think it's just a byproduct of what we're doing. Learning how to rest is a skill. Learning how to recharge is a skill. So you need to start to read books or look at podcasts or whatever it may be to learn how to rest because even God rested after, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't just, keep going. Like even on the seventh day,
I'm blinking 1,000 times a minute. That's how tired I am right now. I'm like, yo, like.
So no, but I really concur with what you're saying. Because what I thought I was doing in New York was a rest until I got to LA and I was like, okay. And then I did it in Africa and was like, okay.
You learn it.
What it is. But I kept doing it.
You got to be intentional about it. So start with, like you said, canceling classes for a week. Start there first.
I've been telling you that for a long time.
Right.
It's tough, but I'm telling you, bro. Like,
but you gotta learn your seasons and your flow. Like I've learned my season.
My mom know my season. That's a crazy part. She said, "You always get think
Gotta
at
learn
this
your
time
season.
in January or February, you always get to a space where I'm like, dang, I ain't noticed
January
that.
could be
Because
your
it
time.
it don't gotta be like
It's so
nobody else
crazy.
said it is,
Yeah.
bro. Like it don't
Mine
gotta
is
be.
January and July. July, we shut the whole company down.
I
That's
got a
crazy.
lot of them because January, February, September,
I can't.
and November.
But I get it. No, but like you
Yeah.
gotta do what. But
Yeah.
January, I would laugh when he said that because in January we talked. What you got going on? Oh, well, but I've been saying no this. He was like, hey, look, man, like it takes 9 months to build a bed, and I was like, dang, that's why all of this stuff ain't working because we don't usually do nothing in January. We forcing a bunch of stuff just to think that we gotta be but we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing else.
Who is setting your pace but you?
Correct.
like the only way you're gonna know
January
is you gotta try,
July.
but you gotta trust yourself. Going back to what X said, is y'all gotta be able to trust yourself that whatever happens, I'm willing to bounce back from it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because right now you're burnt out. So you can have this fear. Nah, bro, if I take off, then what if you feeling that right now?
And I know we on you right now, but
Hard,
but I think too,
I appreciate
is when you go back and figure out, because a lot of times we burn out and it's our fault.
Heck yeah.
Right.
Because we're not willing to put away certain things that bring us instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So naturally, I will say in therapy, you're gonna start some things are gonna start coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Some things are gonna start and it's gonna start boiling and some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some things you're gonna be like, nah, bro, we ain't going
Nah, I
here.
get that.
Right. So that burnout, bro, like that could really come from not saying no to things that you know is like, bro, like this is gonna take me here, and I know it's gonna take me here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we can prevent burnout by a quick decision.
Quick,
like
just decide what's draining you is because you're not making a decision.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, it just lingers and lingers and lingers, and then boom, roadblock. History repeats again. Mm-hmm. Let's try this again.
What if they find somebody else? What if I take a break and they go find another trainer? They about to see that you burnt out and your sessions becoming whack because you burnt out anyway. So real, you see what I'm saying? So you either life is going to tell you or you're going to decide, right? And I'm err on the side of I'm going to make that decision, right? Again, when COVID had hit, either I'm going to decide to leave my job and take this leap of faith, or I'm allow life to fire me one day, and now I got to make the decision. Like it's everything you're feeling, you got to make a decision because that's the only way you're gonna know. Right. So you got to start to practice. And I would rather practice in a state of, okay, I can kind of afford this right now than something happens and you're in the hospital. Now you gotta take 3 weeks off and then you gotta come from there. So make a decision before the decision is made for you. Oh, I like that. I like that. Man, this is good, bro. See, look at you. You gotta go now, bro. What's the point of being a boss if you can't do boss shit, bro? Like I'm just saying. You know
that's real. That's real life.
Like, what's the point if I'm tired and we get so caught up in our resiliency, it can be our own worst enemy. Oh, I can do this all the time. But bro, at some point, you're not gonna be able to. So you gotta learn your rhythm. That's the season I'm in, bro.
I got in here and literally the first thing he said to me is, yeah, man, I've been practicing this no thing. And I'm like, I just had to go through this. He gets in here immediately. Yeah, bro, I'm just really trying to practice the thing about saying no. So like it sounds like it's probably another thing we just offer of like, bro, like learn how to say no.
That can be no to yourself
no
too.
To yourself is saying no to somebody else and saying no to yourself is giving you the ultimate like freedom.
No, that's real.
Figure out what else you want to do because I'm telling you, bro. Man, this was good, y'all. Any major stuff coming up? I know. Not sure when this episode will come out, but anything?
No.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, bro. It's a big year for me just in milestones. So I don't know.
I still don't think they know who we are. Like I want y'all to tell them who we are. Go ahead, you start. What's your name?
Oh, I'm Daniel Brooks. I am a licensed clinical social worker, own and create a Good Counsel LLC, and Motivate the Game, where our goal is to make mental health healing possible. For all things mental health, we're trying to innovate, connect, and educate people from all walks of life to want to change their life and expand their mind and expand their mindset. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a leader, bro. I'm a world changer. Yeah, I go to dark places with people and help them to make their self and get out of those spaces. I'm all about just helping people to rewrite their story, right? In whatever way possible, man. All things helping. That's the only thing I'm good at times is helping people. So I've kind of made my life and surrounded my life around that.
Love it. Love it. Uh, who's next?
I guess I can go.
Oh, you want me to go?
I'm Deshaun Adams, owner, fitness coach of Let's Conquer Fitness. Father first, friend second. Remember that. But yeah, that's who I am. Trainer, whatever you see me around. Let's Conquer Fitness is what I own, what I run, what I'm the boss of. What the whole episode was about: being a boss, building, and finding your why. Like, what's the why? But make sure y'all tune in and make sure y'all listen to my man right here as well. It's your turn, my boy.
My name is Xavier Tremaine, owner and executive director of the nonprofit The Humble Hustle Company. Full-time creative, social entrepreneur. I run several different entities as well. Humble Hustle Clothing, Xavier Tremaine Creative Consulting, Imagine Me Mentoring, and I like to curate parties at the same time as well. All of that fits into an ecosystem that funnels down to community and youth. So if you see me, more than likely I'm creating, curating, or catalyzing, doing one of those things. So yeah.
Catalyzing, boy, that's
They old.
That's a catalyzing.
They old. They got a
All
whole.
right, here we go, bro. We experienced, young fella. Why the hell they have you on the line? X, he would have locked you up coming off the edge. That boy would have had you. That boy
I would have had Xbox coming like
you up
this.
under your-